Your wife's filed for divorce. Are you making the mistake of listening to all those people telling you that it's hopeless? On today's video, you're going to hear how Dean turned his marriage around from his wife filing for divorce.
She said she was done. My wife wanted a divorce. It was a pretty hopeless place.
To her doing a U-turn and committing to creating a new unbreakable marriage together.
She no longer wants a divorce. We've got to a place where we're building a brand new marriage and a brand new life, and it's great.
So why don't we start off you telling us a little bit about what was going on in your marriage before you just enrolled in the ARC system?
Yeah, of course. It wasn't good at all. Not good at all. I'd noticed over a period of a few months she'd become very distant. Eventually, when I pressed her about it, she said she was done, and that was a massive slap for me. I didn't see it coming, and we got in a very, very difficult and a very bad place, and effectively lived an in-house separation for on and off for almost 18 months. It was a pretty hopeless place just prior to when I enrolled in the ARC system.
Okay. And up until that point you mentioned, so it was 18 months of trying to get your marriage back on track. What did you try to solve the problem to get Debbie to check back into the marriage?
What I tried is what I've now learned is all the classic mistakes that 95% of men do in my situation, because you go into a panic mode and everything you try that you think is what you should be doing is all the things that make the situation worse. Because we're not pulled aside at school or university and taught how this is how you do a marriage, this is how you do a relationship, and this is how you parent. We have to work those things out ourselves. And yeah, everything I was trying was making the situation worse. And that was when I knew I needed to reach out somewhere and get to someone or something or some programs. I need some help to know what I'm doing here.
Okay. And were there any hesitations before you then joined the ARC system?
Yeah, there was, because there are so many programs available when you seek, and you got to sort the wheat from the chaff. You've got to feel which one is right for you, because at the end of the day, it is an investment in, not just financial investment, it's emotional investment, your time or your effort, and you want to make sure you've picked the right one. And there's no telling really until you're within your program if it's the one for you or not. And there was something about your program and the initial interview we did, it felt genuine. It felt like it was the right one that suited the situation I was in, and you didn't come across as a charlatan like a few of the other ones do. So that was why I selected the ARC system, as this was the map for me to sort my situation out.
How has your experience been since joining the ARC system, Dean?
It's been very life-changing. For me, it was all about taking full responsibility for everything in my life. It taught me a lot of things about self-worth, self-confidence, leadership. And one of the big ones for me is effective communication, doing it the right way to have positive results instead of communicating in a way that can sometimes have negative results. There's so many aspects to it that help turn my situation around, but also has been good for me personally in fixing any issues I had myself. It's been wonderful. It really has.
And so what have been three specific benefits that you've gotten since joining the ARC system?
The three for me, the first one is accountability, or taking full responsibility for things in your own life instead of blaming it on external issues, recognizing your self-worth and gaining your own confidence. And again, a big one is learning real effective communication for not just use in your personal life, but in all walks of life, in all relationships, communicating much more effectively. Those are three of the big things for me.
I hope you're enjoying hearing all about Dean's incredible success story. If you'd like to get the same results like him, then you just got to do the same thing. Enroll in our free masterclass today. The link is down below. Now let's get back to Dean's story. So you mentioned that self-worth was key. How do you feel like that has impacted your marriage? So reclaiming that self-worth, because I remember when you reached out to us, you were very anxious. If I remember correctly, your wife had said that she didn't find you attractive. So that obviously has a big impact on a man on their self-esteem. So how key has regaining your self-worth and your confidence been?
Yeah, it's been massive, really key. I would say previously to doing the work that I have done with yourself and this system, there was too much reliance on external validation, which would affect my confidence, needing to feel validated externally. And because of the work we've done, I no longer feel that. And that means I've got control of that, I've got power of that. And that's a really powerful place to come from.
Wonderful. And how's it been then? We pride ourselves on the community of dads that we have, our ARC legends. ARC legends! So how's it been part of our community?
I mean, those guys are absolute legends. That's why they're called Arc Legends, because, these are all guys who have got similar difficult situations, and rather than sort of like give up on it, run away from it, and take the easy option, they all step up to try and solve the issue at hand. And their support has been fantastic. We bounce off each other, give each other good advice because we're in similar situations. So instead of it being like the blind leading the blind, these are all, great guys who want to better themselves, want to be better dads, want to be better husbands. And absolutely, they're a great bunch of guys.
They really are. And so what's one thing then that you've learned since being in the program, Dean, that we don't teach explicitly, but you've just learned from being around other legends?
What I've learned is how much of things in life are in our own control by how we show up in life rather than relying on external things. And also, what I've learned is women and our wives can sometimes be very complex characters, and learning how to communicate with them more effectively is quite important.
Wonderful. Okay, Dean. And so you've been in the program, you said 9 months, 9 months. What's changed in your life now since you joined?
Well, the big change is we've gone from a situation where my wife wanted a divorce to now she no longer wants a divorce. Our divorce has been withdrawn, cancelled. The entire household is a happier place to live again. Everything's warm. We've got great communication, which we didn't have before. We are not afraid to sort of like speak with each other on any sensitive subjects, and there's just no more arguments. If there's any disagreements, it's done in a much more controlled way because we've learned, how to effectively communicate with each other, and everything's great. It really is. We've got to a place where we're building a brand new marriage and a brand new life, and it's great.
Okay, and now for somebody that's sitting on the outside, so just like you were, so 8 or 9 months ago, where maybe their wife's filed for divorce and they're thinking it's hopeless, that there's nothing they can do, what would you say to them if they're considering joining the ARC system?
I would absolutely say yes, do it, invest in it, because if you don't learn a lot of what I've learned and what all of the other ARC legends have learned in the last 9 months, there's a very good chance that you will divorce, and then you'll both, as in you and your wife, will move on to new partners, and you'll make the same mistakes all over again. For me, what I learned big time was I needed to fix all of my own personal issues before I could fix anything else. As I say, as men, we see ourselves as fixers, and what we try and do is fix the marriage and fix the other person. We're trying to fix something that isn't ours to fix. What we need to do is do the work on ourselves first, and then the other parts of the equations start to fall into place. So I would say to anyone who's in a similar situation, and there will be loads of people out there, is yeah, don't just give up on it. Do the work.
If you've enjoyed this video, you want to watch this next video on how to authentically attract your wife back.